Hello everybody, welcome in live here at Kansas Speedway. Currently in the ITRL Iron Thunder Racing League Championship race here at Kansas. Got a lot to talk about, including the apology for the technical issues that we've had tonight. But we'll save all of that for later. We're going to get right down to it trackside as we tune in here 17 laps in. Still a long ways to go. Still a lot of things to play out in this race, including 2 stage breaks. First stage break expected here on lap 30. Caution going to fly at the start of 31. But how about the battle for the lead right now? This is between at least one of the championship contenders. That's Storm Patterson and Dave Matson. The second of the championship contenders, Raymond Ritnar, the second. He sits just behind these two watching them battle, currently in third. And Matt Quick, another one of your championship contenders, in fourth. And you got to go all the way back down to 11th to find that fourth and final championship contender. That's Josh Cully in the 33 car. Those are the 4 to keep your eye on. And you see we do have a C next to their name on the tower. And the guy that finishes the highest out of everybody on the board with a C, that is who's going to be crowned your VRX Premier Series champion for the Iron Thunder Racing League here. And I believe it's I might have said season 8 for these guys. They've been going on for quite some time, but racing so far tonight, while we were setting up the broadcast here after the technical difficulties, had it on the side screen going. It's been phenomenal so far. Kansas never disappoints. You throw in a night race to that factor, and it makes the racing that much better. These guys have a ton of grip just about all over the track. Wouldn't be too surprised to see a lot of these guys kind of running the bottom if we have a restart, saving a little bit of tire, and then as the run goes on, probably shifting up to the top line, but you never know. We might get somebody surprising us. There's a little 3, not quite 3 wide, but it definitely shows you all 3 of those lanes. The 24 up top, the 15 down low. In the middle, rather, it's Treston Ott and Kelvin Masur down on the bottom. Looking at your weather outside, winds at 7 miles an hour. Slightly varying temperature outside. Currently looks like might be in the 50s or 60s. 68 degrees starting out, 47% humidity, partly cloudy skies. And track temp, we talked about it's cool, 71 degrees Fahrenheit. But already, the fastest guys on the track continue to be the ones running the top. In fact, your top 5 are all up top. First guy you're going to find on the bottom right now is going to be Christopher Gale in the 84 car. And if he's not careful, he's going to have a little competition here from Eric in the 97. And I want to make another apology here in the sense of some of these guys' last name. It would take me some practice to pronounce them correctly, and didn't have any time to do so here before the start tonight. And I don't want to butcher anybody in a disrespectful manner. So if I can't quite get the last name right, we're just going to stick to the first name here tonight, as we are just filling in for Bryce. Sawyer Ott back here in 10th. The 35 VRX Simulators machine currently sits up 4 spots from where he started. Matthew going the opposite direction, currently down 4 positions from where he started, just outside the top 10 in 12th. Actually, I think it would be kind of close on if anybody had to pit here in this first stage. It's 60% fuel for all these guys tonight, so it's going to kind of be right there, although I think they're going to be good to go. It's definitely going to be close. I think we'll have a good idea after this first stage, but looking at some more of your race info, course 201 miles here tonight, 134 laps at 1.5 miles. That Kansas is one of the fastest, if not the fastest 1.5 miles left here in NASCAR. Stage 1 we talked about coming up shortly here, and about 8 laps falling on lap 31, the start of 31 rather. Stage 2 going to be on lap 60, and then we will try to finish the rest of this thing out green. That would put us probably around 70 to 80 laps under that final green flag run. Cautions are race director initiated. 2 overtimes if we need them. Everybody's going to have 5 tire sets in the pit, 60% fuel. 1 fast repair if you need it, and that's big for a lot of these guys. I did not realize that, but I think that's going to keep the racing very aggressive all night. Everybody knowing that they have that fast repair in their back pocket. You can certainly be a little bit more aggressive with the moves you decide to make here and take a little bit more risk, assuming you still have it. Incident limit 25x. Don't think that's going to be an issue for any of these guys. They seem to all keep it nice and clean, at least off the start. So your top 3 are all championship contenders. Storm Patterson still leads the way up 2 from where he's qualified in 3rd. Raymond Ritnar, the 2nd, currently sits in that 3rd position, and Matt Quick separating these 2. Now, Matt Quick, I've seen this guy before at super speedways, more through money racing, and he's showing a lot of speed there. Interested to see what he can do tonight. Still running the top line, and in fact, let's go right on board with him and see what it looks like here. You still have to run it a little different, 1 and 2 than you do 3 and 4, and see if we can break down here. You see, as he gets into turn 1, it is the faster of the 2. He carries more speed down the front straightaway, and it looks like the front end's tight. He's got to be careful. You certainly don't want to burn off too much right front. Gets a pretty good pretty good center of the corner going, and he actually gains quite a bit, uses the draft on the backstretch. Now here's where it gets a little tough. You see how he dips low here. The leader running high. Believe it or not, Matt Quick would certainly love to run up in that top line, but he just can't do it right now. He gets caught in the dirty air, gets too close. He will go up into that outside wall, and at a track as fast as Kansas, it doesn't take much, just takes a little bit of damage, and all of a sudden, that car's not so fast anymore. Looking at the speeds, down to about the mid-160s through the corners. And as we talked about, straightaways very fast. These guys are going to get up to probably almost, if not in the 190s, down the front straightaway. This time, Matt Quick falls back a little bit more. Able to, still has to kind of duck down to get in the clean air, but the top line certainly looking the most dominant. Let's go back throughout the field, check on how everybody's doing. Looks like we have had a couple people off track. Looks like Dylan Hale and Paul, 19th and 20th. Not on track, must have had an issue. Here's Alex Little in the 36 machine. He currently sits in 18th, down a position from where he started, and pull up the track map. Struggling a little bit here. In fact, not sure if he had an issue or what, but you can see he might be in danger of going a lap down here. Actually, I think he'll be okay if he can make it to the stage break here. Coming to 2 laps to go in it. Definitely not a good start for the driver out of Wisconsin, going up to 17th. How about Brian Wertman in the 52? Last car on this kind of lead pack. Not really pack racing, but the last guy in this big group. And then that single file car of Alex Little that we talked about. Manny Gregory in 16th. The 26 machine. How about Kelvin Masseur sitting in 15th. Josh Culley in 14th. Treston Ott. And I wonder if these two are related or teammates. Sawyer Ott just in front of him in 12th. Actually, they're going to switch some positions right now as the 35 on the top. He's going to actually get beat on the bottom by the 15. Boy, that was a powerful move by Treston Ott right there. Dave Mattson in 10th. The rest of the top 10 will get their fair share of TV time here as we finish out the stage. But let's go back up front to finish it up. Storm Patterson, well, once we kind of got live here, seems like he kind of took over, and he's been dominant since then. One more set of corners for the 45. Championship contenders not going to gain anything tonight by winning a stage, but it certainly gives him some confidence, little momentum, and sure enough, he is going to win stage 1 at Kansas. Caution in the air, scheduled caution, of course. And I'm looking at here, and we do have some insight about what might have happened to Paul. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. But indeed, there is your stage 1 winner. Matt Quick comes in 2nd. Raymond Rittenauer 3rd. Brandon 4th. Christopher Gale in 5th. George Belfons Jr. in 6th. Brandon Pomatate in 7th. Eric 8th. Landon Polinsky in 9th. And Dave Mattson rounding out your top 10 here for stage 1. Well, a little different here in the Iron Thunder Racing League. At least what I can see, we're used to getting an interview from a driver after they win the stage. Doesn't look like we're going to have the option to do that. These guys are going to stay laser focused and get geared up for stage number 2. And while they do that, let's go take a look, see if we can find what happened to Paul here. This was earlier on in the race before we came back live. Ooh, looked like he must have had an incident at some point here. Is he going to go through the grass? He does. So he saved it there. I'm not sure what that incident... Oh, my goodness. You got to wonder if that might have been some hurt... That was odd looking. It looked like some hurt feelings. And the car that was involved there was actually the last running car there. That's Alex Little. Ooh, let's see what happens here. Go to the chopper view. Oh, the 44 is just getting loose. You see a couple guys getting loose. This might have been on a restart. Cold tires are not a fan. He just gets down, slams the 36 pretty hard. They both do an amazing job of saving it. I cannot believe they both held on to that. 44 is going through, and I think that, oh, yeah, sure enough, looks like Alex Little was trying to look for a dodge. He saw the 44 coming up, thought he was going to hit him, look for the dodge, and unfortunately, once he got on that apron, that rough transition sent him right around. Got up into the 44, who backs it into the wall. He looks like he's got a little left rear damage. It doesn't look too bad, so I'm a little surprised that, he retired from the race with it. This might have been later on. Let's see what happens here. Not sure if he just decided yep, sure enough, looks like he just decided to go ahead and park it for the night here. Takes a late break down to the pits, brings it to a stop. And that is what has so far, at least what it looks like, ended the 44's night. All right, let's go back live. Top 5. Everybody's coming to the pits for the most part here. In fact, looks like maybe a couple that decide to stay out trying a little strategy here. It's going to hand the lead over to Brian Wertman. Kelvin Masseur 2nd. Storm Patterson only back to 3rd, but he's going to have 4 fresh tires here. Matt Quick as well, and Raymond Rittenauer the 2nd. all going to look to try to see if they can take over that lead spot here on this restart. Don't count out Josh Cully. He's currently sitting back in 12th. But these restarts, that's what kind of can make or break your day. You got to get as much track position as possible at the time. And we'll see what he can do on this next restart. All right, so since we're at a break here, probably a good time. And in fact, looks like Kelvin Masur and Brian Wortman, they're both going to make their way down pit road. So that is going to hand over the lead now to Storm Patterson. While we have a chance, technical issues, I want to let everybody know about it because I always get kind of upset when I have a broadcast that really doesn't go the way I'm planning it, and I feel bad for everybody that's watching. Kind of what we had happen here, 8 o'clock, the session opened. It takes usually anywhere from 15 to about 30 minutes, and since this was a new league that I haven't done anything for, setting up all the sponsorship stuff, everything else that we have here on the race info on the tower, etc., usually takes somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes. Tonight probably was going to take about 20, more like 20 to 30 minutes. So we were trying to get in here around 8. Unfortunately, one of the admins did have some issues sending me out the league invite. Communication wasn't really there on it, so I didn't get the league invite till 8:59. So we accepted it, got in here, had a little bit of issue initially getting in, got back in once we plugged an Ethernet cord in and tried to set everything up as quick as possible. I didn't get everything I wanted to, but I got as much in as I could in about 10 minutes. Here we are. Like I said, again, apologies that we missed the restart. I know a lot of you guys are out here. Driver intros, we didn't get to do those tonight, but Bryce does a heck of a job on that. He will be back returning with this series, I'm assuming at least next season. Won't have to worry about those technical difficulties. But hey, if you're still here, we appreciate you being here. And it looks like we're going to take the 1-to-go signal this time, and that means we are getting ready to go back green here at Kansas. No cautions so far here tonight besides this caution, of course, scheduled caution, stage caution, and what I'm seeing here is Storm Patterson choosing the top line. This is an interesting decision to me here. You know, I know the top's preferred, but I think if Matt Quick can get a good restart, if he can stay even down into turn 1, I think he very well has a good shot at pulling a slide job off on the 45. The thing that I think Storm might have going for him here is that we saw quite a few guys that look like getting loose on cold tires on the initial restart off of turns 1 and 2, so that might be what he's going to try to do here, pin Matt Quick down to the bottom, and Matt's going to either have a choice, try to stay in it and hope he can hold on or get out of it, and that would let the 45 prevail. And then I think once we make it to turns 3 and 4, it is going to go right back up to the top lane. So row 1, Storm Patterson, Matt Quick, your 2 championship contenders. Row 2, one of your championship contenders, Raymond, and then one of the non-championship contenders still looking fast tonight and with a chance to win. We'll see what Brandon can do. Jonathan Grissup in the chat says storm warning. That's pretty funny. You know, you would think I would have thought of that one, but hey, I like the nickname. We'll see if he can live up to it here tonight. Make himself an Iron Thunder Racing League Premier Series champion. Green flag back in the air. Really good restart from the 45. He's not going to have to worry about the 89 trying to do a dive bomb on him here this time. Looks like the 25, Brandon, he is also going to get clear. 45 dives to the bottom through turns 1 and 2. The rest of the field still scattering, trying to figure out some positioning. The 97 with a big run off the turn, but he's going to get cut off pretty quick. The 94, George Balfons Jr. is going to get a little bump draft. Raymond Ritnar, he's going to save a little bit of tire here. These guys still have to save some, even during these stage breaks. Ooh, the 35 started to get a little tight. He had to bail out of the throttle. Oh my goodness, that was close. Little 3-wide action back here. These guys still trying to figure it out. We're going to go 4-wide here. Back down to 3 pretty quick. The 90, the 09 of Dave Matson. Looked like he was thinking about getting a little aggressive there. The 43 falling through the middle here. Kelvin Masuro. We had one get loose, some contact. Into the outside wall goes the 43. Can he save it? Oh my goodness, close call for the 26. You got to think that's pretty heavy right front damage for the 43. Looks like he's still trying to hang on to that thing. It's a big impact for sure. Not sure just how bad he got it. You can see it there on the right side. Let's back this up a little bit. This was an absolute hornet's nest off of turn 2, and at some point, something's got to give, and let's see where this is going to start. Go to the chopper cam again here. I mean, these guys were going in and out, 3, 4 wide. The 43 is just getting a little tight. Looks like he wiggles, maybe just taps the 48, maybe a little net code, and then that sends him down into, I believe, was that the 34? Either way, that was pretty heavy contact for the 43 on the right side. That's going to be one where he's going to just have to try to survive at least the rest of the way until we can get the caution for the second stage. Meanwhile, up front, The racing is intense. The 89 of Matt Quick has found his way to the outside of Storm Patterson, and he is going to try to take that position here down into turn 3, the 25. He's got a choice. Thought maybe he would think about 3 wide, but he's going to go ahead and give a little push to the back bumper of Storm. 45 trying to stay even through 4. You see him sliding up, but the momentum on the top is just too much. If Matt Quick can stay up there another lap or 2, I think he's going to get clear, maybe even on the backstretch this time. You got to wonder if Storm is maybe thinking a little bit more long-term here and trying to save some tire, but just as I say that, he's going to try to pull off another slide job. This time he makes it work. Ooh, Matt Quick maybe cuts him a break. Certainly gives him a little bump. Wow, that was really close, and now we're going to see a move on the 89 here by the 25. Brandon, can he make it stick? He's going to try the same thing, but he's going to get a little tight. Matt Quick still making it work, and here comes Raymond Rittenauer, the second in the 87. Further back to 24, Matthew Klusteris. And it looks like he's going to go back to the outside. You know, I think the guys are on the bottom right now might be thinking a little bit of tire saving here. You know, we know in the truck series here, at least at Kansas, guys kind of like to run the bottom for the first, 5, 10, maybe 15 laps, depending on how long the run is. Get yourself a little extra tire, and then when it's go time, the top is certainly the place to be. And now it looks like the 45, Storm Patterson, he has made his way back to the top line, and anybody else trying to go around the top is going to have a difficult task. That's why the restarts have just been so important. Ooh, the 25 got a little tight there. Looks like he almost got up into the wall. Raymond Rittenauer is going to think about making a move here on the bottom. Back up in the draft on the backstretch. A couple more guys closing in on this lead lap battle here, including Josh Coley in the 33. He has made up some positions since the last caution. That stage caution, rather. He is now up to 6, up 5 from where he started, and he's looking to see if he can find his way past George Balfonge Jr. in the 94. Good-looking paint scheme, by the way, on that 94 machine. Ford Mustang, green and black, looking good here tonight. Looks like it says Pickle Gang. I like it. Now, there are a lot of teams, so these guys might be fighting for team championships still throughout the field, but, again, didn't get time to really get the teams organized here tonight. The only thing we mainly care about, though, is who we're going to crown a championship, or a champion, rather, in this championship race. And right now, Storm Patterson is looking like he wants to crown the most, but Matt Quick, Raymond Rittenauer, and Josh Coley, they are not going to let him get away just yet. And I know I keep bringing up those restarts, but I really do think, as clean as these guys have looked so far, I mean, the only real incidents we've seen has been a little bit of contact here and there on the initial lap on the restart. Of course, we know that's because things get crazy, but after that, things have really settled down. The racing has been nice, fun to watch, but clean at the end of the day. And the 33 try to make a move to the inside. Gets tied off the turn if he can stick. Oh, now we're going to see the 94 gets turned into the grass. Watch for him to come back up the track. No, he goes down. He saves it. This does draw the caution. Slides down to the grass on turn 1 and just slight contact with the inside concrete wall. First non-scheduled caution here of the night. Don't think he's got really any damage, but tough break for George Balfonge Jr. He was running up near, if not inside the top 5 at the time of yellow. Just outside the top 5, rather, and it looks like he's just going to get turned here. I'm not sure if he came down. The 35 came up. That does indeed look like the 35. I believe that's, yep, sure enough, Sawyer Ott. And let's go back here. Let's take another look, see if we can get a better view of it, rather, here. And it looks like a little tough to say from that view. Maybe the 94 going down. We'll take a look from the chopper view. That's usually our best insight at it. Watch the 94 and the 35, middle of your screen, and it looks like the 94 is kind of coming down. He might have expected the 35 of Sawyer to go down either to the apron or maybe hug that white line a little bit more, but once he gets down and they make contact, gonna go for a slide here. The 94 does a pretty darn good job here. I mean, he's still driving that thing, even though it's backwards. Make sure that he keeps it out of harm's way before locking it down, and then once he gets into the grass, a little bit more slippery on those Goodyears, he slides into the inside wall, but again, don't think the damage is too bad. I think he's going to get away with it. Let's take a couple more views here. Actually, this is after. I want to back it up a little bit more from when he initially gets turned here. And right here, he stays in the throttle. And I think that's a very veteran move in the sense of if he doesn't, the back end probably slides back up into that outside wall, and he's got a lot more damage than he does right now. But by staying in it, he makes sure that he gets it down off the track, down to the inside wall, and walks away a lot more unscathed than he would have initially been. All right, so we got our first caution due to incident here out of the way. The 94 is still on pit road. Your leader is Storm Patterson, Matt Quick second. Brandon third, Raymond Rittenauer the second and fourth, and Josh Cully in fifth. Looks like Jonathan giving us another nickname, the King Klusterhus. That's a pretty good one, but I got to be honest. I think I like Storm Warning a little bit better, and I think I'm a little partial to rooting for this guy. Going to college, I do currently major in meteorology, so I guess that kind of 2 and 2 go together. But either way, the 45 has looked dominant all the way, at least from what I've seen so far tonight. Can't speak for the initial restart, what we saw beforehand, but you know what? Since we did miss that first restart, let's go back and take a look. This was to start us off the race. The 09 had a very fantastic qualifying effort. That put Dave Mattson on the pole, Matt Quick on the outside. So Storm didn't quite get a chance to lead every lap, but once he took the lead, he's led most. Dove to the inside right away. These guys got really, really racy as well, but that's what we expect on these initial restarts. 45, just like that, got clear through turns 1 and 2, so maybe he did lead just about all of them. This was all the parts we missed, but hey, you're getting to see it now, so whatever you missed, once again, we apologize, but you didn't miss anything too exciting. The exciting part is going to, of course, come at the end when we get to crown ourselves a champion. Iron Thunder Racing League. Heck of a league so far from what I've seen. The next gens are not an easy car to drive in general. Kansas is a very, very fast track, but very air dependent. That's why we've seen guys that once they all start to single file up top, the leader really, really has an advantage. And another thing you'll notice on these championship contender cars is those front windshields all highlighted in yellow. In fact, I'll give you a better view of it here. The rear chase cam. Storm Patterson, bright yellow. Matt Quick in bright yellow. Raymond Rittenauer the second, Lucky Dogs paint scheme. He's got a lot of bright yellow on that car, but he's going to have a little bit on the top of the windshield as well. And Josh Cully up inside the top 5 now. So only one of the cars in the top 5 is not in your championship 4. And of course, with that format just being whoever crosses the line first out of all those championship 4, I think it definitely is going to make the racing a lot more exciting at the end. I think we're going to get the 1 to go signal this time, and that should put us green here with 11 laps to go in stage 2. And then it should be about a 75 lap dash to the finish from there. Going to be at least 1, if not 2 pit stops. Jonathan Grissop says in the chat, used to announce for ITRL. Lol. Know all these guys well. Storm is an awesome kid and has came a long way. Been fun to watch over the years. Well, it's been fun to watch tonight, so I could certainly imagine might be able to get himself a championship here tonight. A couple announcements later, but I think for now we are going to stick up here. Row 1 is going to be Storm Patterson in the 45 and Matt Quick in the 89. How about row 2? Brandon, you know, we're going to try to say his last name right here. I believe it's Klusterhus. Yeah, who am I kidding? I don't think I got it right. I would certainly need a practice run through him, but either way, having a heck of a run. And one of the Canadian drivers, it looks like, in the field tonight. We got a couple of them from what it's showing here on our info. Raymond Rittenauer the second in 4th, rounding out row 2, and Josh Cully and Landon Polinsky making his way up here in the 00. Going to be rounding out row 3. All right, pace car pulls off. 45 rolling into the Geico restart zone. 11 laps to go in stage 2. We're back green. Restarts have been crazy all night. It's your time to get the track position, and who wants it the most? Storm Patterson with another great restart. Matt Quick trying to hang tough on the outside, but I think the 25, Brandon, he is going to get clear down into turn 1. Watch for that bright green and yellow 33. One of your championship contenders trying to make a move here. Josh Cully wasn't able to get clear, had a little bit of a slip up. Matt Quick fighting back on the outside. Raymond Rittenauer the second. Couple positions dropped since the restart. The 00. Polinsky, he is making a charge to the front here as well. The 33 really wants to get in line. He can't find a spot this time. 10 laps to go in stage 1. Matt Quick. Oh, a little bit of contact. Can he save it? Oh my goodness, what a save from Matt Quick. And that was almost disaster. The 94 gets into the wall. Looks like he's going to gather it back up as well. These aggressive restarts are giving these guys a hassle, and Matt Quick right now is probably trying to slow his heart rate down just a little bit. That was an extremely close call for the 89. A little bit of contact that I thought he was going to lose at the front stretch. But that slight turn radius kind of makes it tough if you get a little sideways to hold on. But back here, these guys are still going at it 3 wide. This is the battle for 9th. They're going to try to sort it out down into turn 1, but Christopher Gale once more. The 84 makes a move by the 24, and all of a sudden, Matthew has fallen back here in a hurry. Not sure what's going on. 24 starting to struggle a little bit. Down 4 overall from where he started. Treston Ott in the 15. We'll see what he can do. And there's the 94 that brought out the last caution due to a spin off the front of Sawyer Ott. He currently sits in 14th position. Side-by-side racing back here, but up front, they are already starting to get it single file back out. Storm Patterson looks like the Pied Piper here at Kansas. And the kind of, I guess you'd say the best way to pass here at Kansas, at least as what it's seemed for most of these guys tonight, you got to set up the corner before good. Get a nice run down the straightaway. And if you can get right up to the back bumper, you want to kind of dive it in, get all the way down to the white line, down into the turn. I think turn 1's a better place to do it because you have more speed. And if you get clear, the goal is to kind of try to slide up in front of that driver in front of you. If you can take their air away before they can cross you over, there's a good chance you hold that position, but it is a hard move to pull off, but might be the winning race move. So Storm Patterson continues to lead, and he does lead the championship battle. Hey, if he wins the race, not only does he win that championship battle, but he also wins $20. Josh Coley second in the championship battle, and third Matt Quick fourth in third position for the championship battle, and Raymond Ritnar the second, rounding out your top 5 and sitting 4th in that championship battle. 55 laps in. That means 6 laps to go here in stage 2. If Storm Patterson can sweep the stages, I got to think he is feeling pretty good about the way the rest of this race is going to go. But one thing we haven't seen so far at all tonight that is going to definitely play a factor in that final stage is green flag pit stops. 60% fuel. Guys can certainly not make it all 75 laps. My question more or less is going to be, can they make it on one stop or not? Going to be hard to say. We'll have to find out, but right now, still single file, and now the back's starting to get things sorted out. Looks like 26. Manning Gregory, give him a shout out. Currently down 5 from where he started, but I like the Waffle House blue and yellow paint scheme, and he is going to take a position away from Christopher Gale. Well, he's going to try to. Still stuck on the inside, and I'm a little surprised we haven't seen the side draft utilized as much as I would have kind of expected it tonight. Now the 26 is going to wash up just a little bit. The 84 gives him a little breathing room, but we've seen it a little bit on the restarts. In fact, the 48 is going to try a little bit right here. That's exactly what we're talking about. When you see guys get right on either the right or left rear of that car next to them, you're kind of trying to suck that car back a little bit, and it seems like it's working out pretty well for guys that are trying it, but there's a little risk to it. You can get that car that you're side drafted a little bit out of shape, and if there's contact, all of a sudden you might be spinning around into the inside wall. Eric and Brandon keep going at it here. They still have not sorted it out, and just as I thought they were going to get single file, back to 2x2 racing. Up front, we've got a 4-car breakaway, all battling for the stage 2 win here, but it looks like Storm Patterson is in prime position. Brandon, you can see they really just can't seem to get much closer than this. They've tried working different lanes, but the top has just been so dominant that I think the only thing now is if we have, well, we know we're going to have a long run here in the final stage. Maybe you try saving a little bit of tire, and towards the end of the run, if the 45 starts to struggle up top, that's your best bet at it. See a little 3-wide action back here. Looks like Sawyer Ott is just on the inside of all of it, and he is watching these guys playing it very carefully. How about a shout out for Alex Little? He's recovered pretty nicely after an incident earlier involved with Paul, and Paul retired, but the 36 got a little bit of right front damage, but he stayed out here fighting, and here he is looking to see if he can get himself back inside, and in fact, now he is inside the top 10. Christopher Gale just to his outside looking for a run, and they're going to sort it back down to 2 wide. White flag in stage 2 is in the air. Storm Patterson still leads Brandon in 3rd. It's going to be Josh Coley, Matt Quick 4th. Raymond Ritnar the 2nd and 5th. See the 09 on the bottom of the screen trying to work the inside line. Doesn't look like he's going to have too much. 45 thinks about breaking the draft on the backstretch. Realizes he's got plenty of a lead. Doesn't even need to worry about it. Coming out of turn 4, he won stage 1. He is going to win stage 2. Storm Patterson in charge of Kansas. And you know it's got to feel sweet to win those two, because he knows that means he's fast, but it doesn't mean anything. And at the end of the day, if he can't come home with the championship, he's not going to remember those 2 stages. He's going to remember what should he have done differently. And right here, you know, it's a pit stop under caution, so he doesn't have to worry about anything. If you're one of those guys behind, I don't think there's really any strategy play in mind, but You never know. We'll have to see if these guys decide to try anything interesting. Always exciting to watch. Your Stage 2 winner of the 45. We'll be right back at Kansas. Going to go side by side. Back live here at Kansas Raceway. 63 of 134 laps complete so far here tonight in the VRX Premier Series Championship 200 for the Iron Thunder Racing League. Of course, if you're interested in any of the VRX simulators, check it out earlier. They got a lot of cool stuff going on. You can look them up online. And, of course, the sponsor here for the ITRL Premier Series. Good stuff there. And they've got a couple of series here for the ITRL. I think it's a little bit more of, well, kind of what the main series is called, Premier Series, in the sense of, I don't think they let just anybody in. Don't quote me on that. But it seems like it's a little bit more of they try to look for some of the best, and that's certainly what we've seen so far here tonight. The racing has been clean. The racing has been fun to watch, and it's just going to get better from here because with no more scheduled stage breaks, we've talked about how important track position is. Well, it just got probably twice as important at this point. If you get trapped behind the leader, in this case, looks like it might be Sawyer Ott unless he decides to go down the pits this time. You might have a hard time getting back to the front. In fact, the 52 is going to dive down. The 35, on the other hand, looks like it's going to stay out. So this could shuffle things up a little bit. Might make Storm Patterson have to work a little bit harder here if he wants to lead this time. Meanwhile, Raymond Rittenard II, Matt Quick, and Josh Coley, they all smell opportunity. And it looks like we are going to go ahead and go around one more time. We took an ad break. We're going to do something a little different here. Just going to go to our kind of our weekly announcements here. Of course, the championship race here for the Iron Thunder Racing League. So there's no races upcoming, at least in the next week, for the Premier Series. For the other series, you'll have to check out their Discord to find out more. But next place that I had here on Ghost Racing Network is going to be over to the PGR Intimidator Super Speedway Series. Thursday night, easily been the most trending, if you will, money series so far that I've been broadcasting. Road to Pro driver Matthew Baker joins me in the booth for it. We saw last week a field of almost 50 trucks. Payouts were absolutely absurd, way over what it says on the poster, and that's the third straight week that we've seen over 40 trucks. Make sure you get yourself involved, and if nothing else, check out the broadcast. It certainly is an exciting one. These guys continue to make my job look pretty easy so far here tonight from what we've seen. We said it was going to be about 75 laps to go when we went back green. Looking like it's going to be more like 70 here, maybe a little bit less, 69. But that might be right on the edge of... It's going to be really close on if guys can make it on one stop or not. Again, not 100% sure on the amount of laps guys can go on one tank of fuel. All we know is that it's at 60%. Now, assuming that they can make it on one stop, there could be a lot of strategy playing that in the sense of, do you try to go a little bit early? Do you split it in half? Or do you maybe go on the later side? I think if you're out front, you're having a good run going. You know, I was going to say I think you pit. You don't have to worry about pitting first. But at the same time, maybe you pit a couple laps earlier. And although your tires aren't quite as new as the guys behind you, get to that top line, have the clean air. And who knows? Maybe all of a sudden you flip the track position for the rest of the race. Find yourself a champion. Seems like that might be the best option right now if these guys want a chance at Storm Patterson. But watch for Josh Colley here. If he can get a good restart, he might think about making a very aggressive move, taking it 3 wide to the bottom if Sawyer leaves it open. We'll have to see how he plays it out. Raymond Rittenard II lined up with Matt Quick in row 3. And I think the man that has my praise tonight, the best running driver that hasn't been in the championship for, has got to be Brandon. Oh no! Oh, big wreck in here in the back. These guys have had trouble. We got to spin. This is going to bring the caution back out. We're not going to go green this time. That's going to hurt a lot of feelings, as I think the 25 either downshifted or had a mechanical issue of sorts. That is a tough break. Let's go on the onboard here and see what happens. Might have accidentally downshifted here, and guys just ran into him. Not so much a downshift as just loses power. Not sure if it was a technical issue or if he made a mistake. I don't know what happened, but these guys are probably all wondering the same thing, as what in the world just happened here. Let's see if we can take another view of it here. TV3 just stops. Oh man, Matt Quick, that's a tough break. That's another championship contender. Nowhere to go. The 84 slides in the 97. He's going to get checked up just before any contact ensues. So Christopher Gale and Matt Quick definitely got the worst out of it. Got to assume Matt Quick's on the radio right now saying, man, what the heck? I think he's going to be okay. Didn't hit him going too fast, and we know these next gens are built kind of like tanks. But if that little bit of damage affects him, he's not going to be a happy camper. But doesn't look like I really see any damage on the front end. All I can see is that bright rainbow colored paint scheme in the cat on the front for Matt Quick. Rolling up to the restart zone. The final scheduled restart. We'll see if we can go green the rest of the way here. 66 laps of 134 completed. Who is going to win the championship here tonight? Good restart here for the inside line. This is exactly what Josh Cully needed to do. The 45, Storm Patterson, he's going to try to get a little bit of a side draft. They're going to hang dead even into turn one. Watch for the 33 to send it in with all he's got. I think he really needed to get this track position, but he's not quite going to be able to make it stick. Almost a little contact as the 45 sticks right to his door. Now there is a little contact. They bump and bang off of each other. Josh Coley still trying to get a little bit of a side draft down the front stretch, or back stretch rather. This time he does send it in and watch for the 45 to try a crossover. Gets clear, but was a little too much. Here comes Storm Patterson back down to the bottom. Big charge, and we're wrecking out back. Matt Quick, the championship contender's in it. He tries to hold on. Now he slides back across the front stretch. The 00 is also involved. The 89 comes to a stop. This time he does have damage on the front. Landon Polinsky was also involved. Heavy damage to his Chevy Camaro as well. Second caution for incident here tonight. Falls on lap 68, and this is a product of these crazy restarts. And this looks like guys just kind of running out of real estate here. Let's see if we can get a better shot of it. Oh my goodness. Looks like a 00 on the bottom. You know, 3 wide's already a tough thing to do, and you can see it almost looks like they're all getting tight. 48's starting to turn down as the 00's working his way up, and they just kind of come together, running out of room. 00's washing up the track, and once he gets in the 48, Matt Quick, absolutely nothing he can do. Gets turned around. T-bones the passenger side of Polinsky. Landon's going to go for a slide there, and then Matt Quick almost holds on to this thing. He's doing a heck of a job at this point. Slides through the grass, but finally comes around. Lucky that he didn't hit anyone else, but, I mean, the damage was already done. Tough break for one of your championship contenders. Now, the good news for Matt is he does have a fast repair. He's going to be able to use it here, and of course, I think he's probably going to use it at this point. We'll see what he chooses to do. Bad news is he's probably going to have to be a little bit careful about how he races, at least on these restarts for the rest of the way. Or until we get closer to the end, if nothing else, let's take a couple more views of it here. And this is going to be kind of a blindside hit here for Matt Quick in the sense of did not expect it at all. There it is. Left rear goes for a slide. Comes to a halt just past the start-finish line. Rest is history. All right, back up front. Probably worked out pretty well for Sawyer Ott because he was able to hang on to the lead during that little short sprint. And big news here in the sense of Josh Coley for the first time now is in front of Storm Patterson. And that track position over the 45 is going to be very important as we're coming to lap 70. Storm Patterson is sitting third. Dave Mattson in fourth and Raymond Ritnar the second, rounding out your top 5. Brandon Pomada currently sits in sixth, up 10 from where he started. Your second hardest charger, Sawyer Ott, is the biggest one, up 14 positions from where he started. George Balfonge Jr., he's having a nice recovery in the 94 after spinning earlier, back up to 7th, up 5 total from where he started. Eric in the, looks like, I was going to say down 3 spots from where he started. Yep, sure enough. But the 97 looking pretty good here inside the top 10. Treston Ott still sitting in the top 10. So does Kelvin Masur. Up 4 spots from where he started. Manning Gregory in 11th. Matthew in 12th. Christopher Gale in 13th. Alex Little in 14th. Brian Wortman in 15th. Matt Quick back in 16th. But it looks like he did choose to use that fast repair here. I think that's a good call. You know, sometimes as a driver you can get a little too caught up in not wanting to use. Actually, hold on. Did he here? Actually, he may not have. Can't really tell. This ankle, let's see if we can get a better view here from some different spot. It's actually hard to tell on whether or not he just had it banged out or if he actually used a fast repair. In fact, it looks like too hard to tell from that view for me. The way the colors kind of blend in, it almost looks like maybe there's still a little bit of a bend going on in the center there. If that's the case, and he has chosen not to use his fast repair yet, yeah, it looks like that nose is still bent in. I don't know about this decision. I mean, I guess if it wasn't too bad and it's not going to affect him here, you might as well save it so you can stay aggressive. But if for some reason that little bit of damage is costing him, even if it's, you know, a couple tenths, less than a couple tenths each lap, all of a sudden he could find himself deep in the field. And if we get spread out, there's a chance we don't get another caution. Matt Quick could find himself out of this championship for battle, but we'll see what happens here. Going to be about 63 laps to go on this restart. So now I think this definitely brings it down to a one-stop strategy. And the question just becomes, when do you pit? I still like the idea of somewhere around halfway, especially if you're one of the top 2, at least in the championship battle. If you're one of the guys further back, you got to try something desperate. Maybe you're Matt Quick at this point, and if you don't get all the track position back that you'd like to on this restart here, maybe try a little strategy. Try to pit early here, get some fresh tires on it, jump a couple positions, and hope for late caution. Well, if you're just tuning in, we appreciate you being here. Championship night for the Iron Thunder Racing League VRX Premier Series. VRX Premier Series Championship 200 race here at Kansas has been a pretty good one so far. We are over the halfway mark. Still a lot of crazy racing to go. We're going to take a look at this restart from the blimp cam because there's way too much action on track. Green flag back in the air. The 35 gets another good jump, but this time the 45 of Storm Patterson's going to do what the 33 did last time. He's going to get clear, and Josh Coley did not want to see that. The 87 of Raymond Rittenauer II gets a little bump down into turn 1. He's going to try to make some position work. The 15 got on the apron trying to keep it out of the 94. Treston Ott's going to fall back a couple spots. Guys still trying to sort it out. Raymond Rittenauer was the biggest beneficiary of that. So is Storm Patterson. They both move up a position. A little too wide action. Ooh, looks like we might have one in the wall a little bit further back. Everybody still hangs on, keeps it together. 94 really slid up there. He's going to lose a lot of momentum as he had to get out of it to not make any contact with Josh Coley. And now we're going to see 4 wide for just a second before we get right back down to 3. 43 is looking to dive low. He's going to cut off the nose. The 84 Christopher Gale. 3 wide, more contact. The 94 is up to the 48. They save it this time. But it seems like every restart we have had at least one of those close calls. It's just a matter of each time if guys can hold on to it. Man, that time they do. A heck of a job, to say the least, to do so. And while they sorted it out up front, Sawyer Ott, your new leader. One of the few guys that has led laps besides Storm Patterson here tonight. He's looking pretty fast up front. The battle continues back here. Kelvin Massar is looking to see if he can steal a couple positions here. Ooh, a couple guys getting a little loose there off of turn 2. A lot of jockeying for position, and there he is, Matt Quick. You see on your scoring pylon that C in 14th place. He wants to make up some position, but it's just kind of a traffic jam right now, trapped in a lot of dirty air. You know, the slight damage that he's got on the front end certainly isn't helping him, and every time he looks for a pass, seems like the lanes just kind of get clogged up and he's got nowhere to go. The 36, Alex Little, not sure if he's got a little damage, but he has fallen way back. And Brandon looks like he's went a lap down. Yeah, sure enough, after the incident earlier, the 25 is going to be fighting for the lucky dog. In fact, he is your lucky dog right now, and it looks like Polinsky is still in the pits. Not sure if he didn't have a fast repair yet, if he's retired for the night, or if he is using optionals right now. Optional repair, that is. Ooh, almost a little bit more contact there between Eric and Christopher Gale. These guys stay door to door. And not Christopher Gale, excuse me. Actually, that was the lap car. That was indeed Brandon, who we saw earlier, actually, oh, big wiggle this time. Can that 24 hang on? He does yet again. These guys continue to scare me here. Oh, my goodness. That was Matthew up top. Had a little bit of oversteer, a little bit of understeer. Finally saved it. Oh, the 35 must have had an issue. Storm Patterson has taken the lead, but Sawyer Ott, in just the span of a lap and a half, has fallen all the way back to 6th. Not sure if he just doesn't have nearly as good of tires or what, but he's going to try to regroup here. The 25 looking under the 94. Oh, man. Almost got into his left rear. Had to bail out of it again. The 25 is trying to get his lap back the hard way. Meanwhile, on the bottom, you got the 15 of Treston Ott. He continues to try to make the bottom work. Short away around the track, but you don't really have the momentum on the straightaways. So the championship battle, you see it there. Raymond Rittenard the second, up to second. Storm Patterson still leading. Josh Cully in third, and Matt Quick in 11th. Those are your 4 championship contenders. Expecting that final pit stop to come somewhere. I think the fuel window for these guys probably going to be somewhere between lap 100 and lap 105. Maybe a little bit sooner, maybe a little bit later, but that's the general 30-ish window if you were looking to split this stage in half. I think it would have been about 30, it would have been 30-something laps for these guys to go halfway. To split it in half, that is. So Raymond Rittenard the second. What do you do here? I feel like it's a cat and mouse game. You know, Storm has been the fastest guy up top all night. Do you just continue to run in his wake? Do you try a different line like what we're seeing Josh Cully do right here? Or do you just kind of try to save some tire right now? Maybe wait till this thing gets closer to pit stops, get really close to him. Maybe even try to jump him on pit stops. That could certainly be a strategy call. See what he decides to do, but Storm Patterson, I think we should all be able to agree, has probably been the class of the field so far tonight, but it doesn't matter who is the best all night. It matters who's the best at the end, because that's the person that's going to be crowned a championship here. Ooh, the 24 and the 84 both going to get a little bit of pain on the right side of their vehicles as they both got into the outside wall. Sawyer Ott continues to fall some positions here, and now he is going to be in danger of getting passed by the 24 of Matthew and then the 15 of Treston Otts. 25 continuing to pick off positions, but boy, Matt Quick, he's worked his way back up into the top 10. He's kind of silently, slowly but surely working his way back up there, but I think at this point, he's still probably going to need a caution if he wants a chance at the trophy. Your front 3, though, all championship contenders, they're starting to try to break away from the rest of the field here. Taking a look at your track map. And it looks like everybody's pretty much together. We got one car that's way behind. That's the 16th place, Alex Little, excuse me. (82 of 134 laps complete so far. We're going to take our second commercial break here. If you're wondering why we take them, it's just so I can go get a quick drink of water. We'll stay side by side, though, so you don't miss a thing. We'll be right back at Kansas. Back live at Kansas Speedway, 85 of 134 laps complete. Storm Patterson still leading the way. Raymond Rittenard the second in second. Josh Cully third. Dave Matson in fourth. And Brandon Panada rounding out your top 5, the 48. He's been looking pretty strong tonight. I've been seeing him try to work his way up through the field. He's got a little damage on the front, though. That certainly has not helped his cause. And the 94 of George Balfons Jr. after spinning off the nose of the 35 Sawyer Ott earlier, he has recovered nicely, looking for another position, and man, almost gave him the announcer jinx right there. He almost got into the 09 of Dave Matson. Was able to hang on, but he's going to have to try to fight another corner for that position here. The top just too strong. The 94 not able to make it work, but he's maybe going to be able to hold one position here. Yep, so sure enough, he is able to take that spot from the 48. 25 still working his way through the field after that incident under caution. Brandon's still seeing if he can get his lap back the hard way here, but Pit stops are probably another 14, somewhere between 15 to 20 laps away. How about a little crank it up here, the Iron Thunder Racing League. Go ahead and stop it there. We normally run it a bit longer, but we had quite a big incident there with it. Looked like Dave Matson kind of got hooked into the outside wall. Couldn't tell exactly what happened from the camera view, but you saw it entering turn 1 there. Turn on Crank It Up segment. Let's see what happens here to the 09. It was just coming out of the tribal, kind of on entry here. Oh, 94 has a big run and just kind of gets on his right side. Not sure if he quite got to the right or rear or just the right side of the bumper, and just kind of hooks him into the wall. That's a tough one for Dave Matson. He's probably not going to be too happy with George Buffons Jr. If these two find each other again, there might be a little bit of bad blood. We'll have to see. But the 94, accidental, of course, but he continues to try to fly through the field. He is now up inside your top 5. Sits in 4th. Looking to see if he can hold off this 48. Further back, a little more contact. A couple more guys in the wall. Matt Quick's ahead of all of it. And he is up to 6, by the way. Almost back inside your top 5, but just behind him, Eric, Christopher, Gale, Manning, Gregory, all these guys, they were having some trouble trying to get it sorted out. We are now starting to get where we've had a couple near misses. And I think if you're Storm Patterson, well, actually, I don't know what you're thinking if you're Storm Patterson. Do you want to see a caution here? Do you not? Looks like Sawyer Ott making his way off of pit road. 35 on a different strategy. Not sure if he can make it the rest of the way on fuel or not. Going to be close. I think all these guys, assuming they can make it on fuel to at least lap 104, maybe 105, I think they're going to be good to go the rest of the way. 45 has just seemed to be on rails all night. Kansas is one of those tracks where you'll keep guys together a lot longer than most other tracks because you got the draft on the front straightaway and the back straightaway. And it's pretty wide open around this place. Now, what I did just see right there is a little interesting. The 45, he knows he's got a big gap. Is he running the bottom because he likes it better, or is he all of a sudden maybe trying to save a little bit of tire here? I think if Raymond gets close, even if he is on the bottom, he's going to work right back up to the top. And sure enough, that's where he goes here in turns 1 and 2. And it's kind of crazy the closing distance that a guy can make on one turn when you got one running on the bottom and one running up top. Storm Patterson, though, has looked good all night. The Yacht Company might have a chance at securing a championship here. The VRX Premier Series, Matt Quick. Got a couple more positions here that he's going to have to pick off before he is going to find the 3rd place championship contender of Josh Cully. I think he's still got a chance at it, at least to get up there, but I just, you know, he could be one of the fastest guys out here. I just don't think the way this track works, he's going to be able to make up 3.5 seconds without a caution. You know, he can execute on pit road very well, maybe if all these guys somehow make a mistake, but that brings up a good point in the sense of, speaking of mistakes, this is the money stop right here that's going to be coming up. If you mess up at all and you get past, that could spell the end of your race. Now, we haven't seen Storm too much in dirty air tonight. We've seen him for about a handful of laps or so, maybe on a couple restarts, but we haven't seen him be trapped behind another guy by any means for a long run. And I'd be interested to see how that car handles if that were to be the case. Let's say Raymond Rittenauer or Josh Cully are able to somehow jump to 45 here on pit stops. But what are you thinking if you're one of those? So I think maybe you try to pit a lap. I don't know if you want to do 2 laps because tires certainly wear down quick here at Kansas, but I think maybe a lap sooner than the 45. At least if you're Raymond, because I think you're close enough where that maybe lets you get in front of the 45. And if you're on the top line, he might be a lot faster, but he may just not quite have enough to get back out in front. But, you know, if you're Matt Quick, one of those guys back here, I mean, what do? Do you stay out and hope for a caution? And if you get a late caution, go down, get some tires with everybody else, and maybe have a chance of starting on one of the front rows. But if he pits early, don't think it's going to help his cause by any means. That is for sure. If you're just tuning in, again, sorry about the technical difficulties earlier. If you were trying to tune in at the beginning of the broadcast, had some trouble getting into the race with the invite, etc., etc. Then once we got in, we still had to try to set everything up for these guys, but it was worth it. I'll tell you what, it was certainly worth it. The racing has been phenomenal so far, and we've gotten that spread throughout the field again. And if you're one of the drivers that doesn't want to caution, this is what you like to see. If you're one of the drivers such as Matt Quick that kind of needs another caution, this is not what you want to see. You're telling these guys, get back to the racing. It looks like back here we do still have a little racing going on. 24, Matthew and the 15 of Treston, they're both kind of going at it just in front of them. Looks like the 43 of Kevin Massar watching a 3-car battle up here. Matt Quick gets by the 26 machine of Manning Gregory. Looks like Matt Quick has fallen a position here, though, to the 97 car. Brandon Pomatot as well, and the 48 still having a good run. And if he doesn't have any damage, or if he didn't have any damage, you got to think he might have a chance at going up there and fighting for a top 3. And I know that sometimes as a driver, it seems like the mindset might be, if you're not in the championship, that you're just kind of out here logging laps. But, you know, there's still $20 on the line to the winner tonight. We could see a surprise winner. You never know. I mean, George Balfons Jr., he's back up here. He looks like he wants to win tonight. We talked about some of the other guys. Brandon, Matt Gregory, all that. Sorry, not Manny Gregory, excuse me. And then Matt Quick, of course, if he can make the comeback story tonight, it would be incredible to say the least. Going to be coming to the 100 lap mark here the next time around. The 87 of Raymond Rittenard II. He's been holding kind of around that half-second range. He's certainly lost a little bit here over time, but I think as of right now, that's the main car that's going to have anything for Storm at this point. Nobody else has really had much. Josh Coley has had a couple chances on restarts. Hasn't played out too much to his favor, and that has found himself back in third. And again, it's a good run, but it's not looking like it's going to be enough at the moment. But I still think pit stops are going to change a lot of things up. And the fuel window is open now. It's really early in the window here, but it looks like the 44 has decided to go into pit. That looks like that might be one of George Balfons Jr.'s teammates. And that is Paul, who actually we saw earlier on, I believe it was lap 1. We missed it, so actually we didn't see it on the broadcast here. Had an incident, got involved with Alex Little, was on pit road for quite a long time, and there's his teammate, both in the Pickle Gang paint schemes. Going by on the outside, looks like Paul's going to come out here and try to log a couple more laps off. So that is going to put Dylan Hale, I'm not sure if he's adminning or if he had issues, still not on track. Wasn't able to start the race. Looks like Landon Polinsky has made his way back out on track after having to fix a lot of damage. Dave Mattson working his way out of pits. Matt Quick, see if we had a little strategy played here. We're going to check it out on the score thing. Yep, sure enough, he did. Matt Quick did come down to the pits here, so a little strategy. I think the 89 knows he's going to have to try something. We'll see if this draws in your leaders anytime soon. Again, watch for the 87 to try to pit before the 45. And once you hit lap 104, I think that's the point where you got to say any lap these guys are coming in. They might be able to continue to go on fuel for another handful or so of laps, but at what point do you feel like your tires aren't worth you staying out there? And now Raymond's starting to fall off a little bit quicker than he had been this whole run. I think this is a prime time for Raymond Rittenard to pit, but I'm not sure if he's going to. Storm Patterson, you know, I know he doesn't have a big lead here, but as fast as he's been, he's kind of the opposite of the other two. The other two have to get in pit road as fast as they can. Rittenard and Coley has actually already pit, so I take that back. No penalties so far for any of your championship contenders. Manning Gregory, Calvin Massar, they are also on the pits. We'll see how quick the 33 gets out. But going back to pit lane 2, watching for your leaders here. Oh, looks like we are going to have a couple come down here. And actually, looks like Raymond Rittenard II decided to stay out. So Storm Patterson, the 45, makes his way into the pits. This is an interesting call. I would have thought for sure the 87 would have pit on the same, if not sooner. And we'll see how this works out. I wonder if Raymond decides to continue to stay out here, or if he pits this lap. Looks like he is working his way down to the bottom of the track. And now onto the apron, so he is going to pit this time. He'll have a lap fresher tires. I don't know if that's going to be enough or not. Certainly he's going to have to even out. The 94, George Balfons Jr. got a pretty good entry, assuming he didn't get a speeding penalty there. Storm Patterson making his way off of the pits here. Let's keep an eye on some of these other guys. Matt Quick is going to be the one to watch. Can he try to jump these guys? There he is, working his way through turns 1 and 2. Patterson's still getting up to speed. I think Matt Quick is going to get by. Sure enough, he does. Matt Quick is going to take over that spot for Storm Patterson. The question is how long. I think he's going to try to do everything in his power to hold off Storm, but you know, Storm's got probably 3 or 4 lap fresher tires. I think that's all he's going to need. Looks like Raymond Rittenauer the second making his way off of pit road. We'll see how this pans out for him as well. Actually, he got a pretty darn good pit stop. In fact, he might. You know, I wonder if he tried a different strategy here. This has certainly caught my attention. He actually came out in front of Matt Quick and well in front of Storm Patterson. I don't know if he tried a different strategy or if he just executed that well on pit road. But if the 87's got the newest tires, assuming he took 4, unless he tried taking 2, I just don't see that being the call right here. He's got the lead now. He's got the best track position. He's going to have the cleanest air. And Storm Patterson right now is probably saying to himself, I got to get by these guys as soon as possible. Otherwise, you know, he might find himself in a little bit of trouble here late in this race. 127 laps in. Going to be starting to come down to crunch time here. Once we hit 25 to go. Mile and a half, that's not a lot of time. And so far, Storm Patterson has still not quite caught up to Matt Quick. A little bit of lap traffic for these guys. That's the 35. Sawyer Ott, not really lap traffic because he was on the lead lap, but he did pit a lot sooner than these guys, so the tire comparison is just not even in the same ballpark. Raymond Rittenauer works by with no issues. Matt Quick next in line to get that position. Let's give a little TV time to the man. Well, he's on pit road now, but he was leading there for a little bit. That's Brian Wortman, and Alex Little is now your current leader. Raymond Rittenauer now moves up to second. This is going to cycle out as not only the battle for the lead, but the battle for the championship. It's going to be Raymond Rittenauer the second, leading it. Matt Quick in second. Storm Patterson still has a car separating him. That's going to be Sawyer Ott from third in that battle. And then just behind Storm is Josh Culley in the 33. He's still looking to make a late charge. Looks like T. Pamat says, come on, Tamatut. And that is Brandon in the 48. And we talked about him earlier. Ooh, looks like he did take his fast repair, so he might have himself a chance at the top 5 late in the run. Kelly Branson says it's Tuesday night Thunder Watch Party for Josh Culley Fan Club. Tonight we are cheering the 33 from 8 states. Wow, very impressive to say the least. Appreciate you guys being here. Apologize again for the early race hiccup, but the important part is that we're going to see the finish, and that's all that anybody really cares about at the end of the day. Big thanks to Wilson Farms for sponsoring Josh and providing technical support this year. You know, I'll tell you what, as a driver, to get sponsorship, you know you're doing something right. So from up here in the booth, certainly congratulations in that sense, but he's shown it, right? I mean, he got himself into the championship 4, and he's still got a fighting chance, but I think from what it's looking like right now, again, we still have, I know 25 is not a long time, but it's still time for things to happen, things to change. But from what it's looking like right now, Raymond Rittenauer II has shot out of a cannon and certainly surprised me here. He has taken the lead in this championship battle here with 24 laps to go. But I think if you're Josh Culley, maybe Storm Patterson, I think you certainly wouldn't mind a caution here, to say the least. And specifically Josh Culley, I think you're kind of asking for a caution at this point because I think there's just too much time that you're going to have to make up. Looks like he's sitting about 2 seconds back from Raymond Rittenauer, and I just don't know if he's going to be able to make that up here in the next 23 laps or so. "23 laps to go at Kansas." We are going to take, you know what, actually we're going to hold that thought here because things are getting a little wild back here. Storm Patterson has now taken third position, second in the championship battle, away from Matt Quick. So maybe the 45 does have something left in the tank. Going to take him a couple laps to get there, but we're going to find out what happens here. Final quick side-by-side break. You won't miss a thing. Welcome back to Ghost Racing Network Live here at Kansas Speedway for the Iron Thunder Racing League. 20 laps to go for Raymond Rittenauer to be crowned a champion. And while I say it like, you know, it's going to be some easy task, it certainly isn't. Keep an eye here on Storm Patterson. In fact, you know what we can do here is let's compare the lap times. And looking, Raymond Rittenauer running pretty decent. And in fact, it looks like, well, I take it back, that last lap, looks like Raymond Rittenauer was actually a little bit slower. Storm Patterson, he's got a decent gap to work down here with 19 to go at over a second, just over a second. But that draft is certainly going to help him accomplish that a lot sooner than it normally would. So I think the 45 is going to get there by the end of this thing. The question is more or less, is he going to have enough to go for the win? Raymond Rittenauer back down to the apron. He is running every lap right now as precise as possible. I think he's kind of committed to the top lane at this point. No tire saving with 18 laps to go. You just got to run as fast as you can. And how fitting is it that your top four right now are all your championship for Raymond Rittenauer, the second, leading the way. He is up 6 total from where he started. Storm Patterson trying to chase him down second. Josh Coley third. And Matt Quick back to fourth. Rounding out your top 5, though, is going to be Eric in the 97 machine. Dave Matson just behind him, of course, qualified on pole. Manny Gregory in 7th. Brandon Pamatut sits in 8th. Sawyer Ott in 9th. Brian Wortman in 10th. Kelvin Massar 11th. Matthew in 12th. Treston Ott 13th. Christopher Gale in 14th. Brandon 15th. Alex Little in 16th. George Balfons Jr. 17th. Landon Polanski looks like he has gotten back off track after rejoining earlier. Paul's back on track after the incident earlier, but he is 36 laps down, so he is certainly not in contention for this thing. And Dylan Hale must not have been able to start the race with an issue. All of a sudden here, the gap has really started to extend. I'm not sure if Storm is just starting to struggle or what the deal is, but man, if he cannot close the deal off, he is going to be thinking to himself, what went so wrong? Had the lead, quite a big lead there for a long time on Raymond Rittenauer, had gotten it to almost a second, and he pit a lap before, so, you know, we know that pitting earlier is always quicker, but pitting earlier when you're the leader, you would have almost guaranteed that he would have came out that way, but not the case. Raymond Rittenauer executed perfectly on pit road, was able to get himself the lead, and that clean air is paying off. He's going to have 14 laps to go next time. And the one thing he doesn't want to see right now is a caution. Just when I thought Storm Patterson was going to have a chance to claw his way back up here and get to it, he continues to fade. Josh Coley back 3 seconds from your leader. Matt Quick back 4.5, but he was contained, I guess, if you will, to a strategy play. He didn't have much of an option. But we certainly don't want to give anybody any more jinxes, so we're going to leave it there. Looking back a little bit further here, Sawyer Ott has had an up and down day, to say the least. Kellen Masseur, Brian Wortman, not a lot of double file racing going on at this point. I would like to say kind of in the sense of that's kind of what you expect at this point. 14 laps to go. We've had a green flag pit stop. Everybody's separated. The only passing you're going to see at this point is guys maybe tracking each other down and a couple corners of battling before that pass would be complete. But, you know, Raymond, he's been there all night. You know, we talked about how Storm certainly seemed like the most dominant car for at least the first two. You know what? I'd go even deeper than that to say 2 3/4 of this race. One stage 1, one stage 2 looked like he was going to win it all here. And all it took was a green flag pit stop to change everything, change the way two of these guys' seasons are going to end. But that's not to take any credit away from this 87 group. The Lucky Dog Chevy Camaro, driven by Raymond Rittenauer, I mean, you figure he started the race pretty good. He's kind of been running top 4 most of the night, definitely top 5. He'd been hanging around second there for a little while, kind of maintained in the gap, fell back a little bit there. But what that tells you, I feel like as a driver, when you're able to maintain a gap like that for that long, that late in the tire run, it tells you that you have the speed to contend, maybe even a little bit faster. All you need is a little something to help you out, and that something for Raymond has seemed to have been clean air. 11 laps to go at the line this time. There's the 94 getting lapped. He must have had a penalty on pit road. He was doing pretty good before on that last run. George Balfons Jr. has now back to 17th. He's getting lapped there. Gap now over second place. 1.8 seconds. Josh Coley might have a chance here to get back up to Storm Patterson. Maybe try to take second. You know, as much as you want to win the championship, even if you don't, certainly looking like it's going to be a great run for Josh Cully nonetheless. And if he could bring home second, certainly could help himself carry some momentum into next season. And I had to give him a little extra credit here. While those small, you see that little thing he's got on the right just above the wheel, the Coast Racing Network logo. Of course, Bryce's logo out here supporting him. I think a lot of these guys put that on their cars. Bryce does a heck of a job. Again, if you're looking for him, wondering where he is tonight, we're just filling in for him. He couldn't make it out tonight. But the racing has certainly been phenomenal nonetheless. The 25 is looking to get his lap back the hard way still. Boy, we've been saying that since we went green here for stage 3. 9 laps to go, and if we can get all the way to the white flag, then this race would become official. Battle right now, not for first, more or less for second here. You can see Josh Cully is now in the same camera view just about as Storm Patterson. He sits under a second, almost just over half a second rather, behind Storm, and Matt Quick is now under fire from and going to get passed by Eric in the 97. They're going to go a little side-by-side back there. Everybody's still keeping things clean. The 52, Brian Wertman, about the 15. I haven't talked too much about him tonight. Let's give him a little bit of a shout-out. Tristan Ott. It's been a solid night. Not too far outside the top 10. Good top 15 night. Sits in 13th. Alex Little on the other end of that has struggled all night. The driver out of Wisconsin has just not really been able to catch a break. Looks like he's going to try to stay at least on the lead lap here if he can from Raymond Rittenauer, but it is going to be a tough battle. That does now put the 25, who had been battling so hard, back in lucky dog position. 14 cars total on the lead lap, and we did have 20 start the race here tonight. Josh Cully now in the draft. He is looking to see if he can get by this 45. I'd say within the next handful of laps, coming to 2, maybe on the white flag lap. I think he's going to be knocking on the back door if he can keep the pace going that he's got right now. Under half a second behind Storm Patterson, who has just fallen off a cliff here late in the going. And it could have been the mindset. You know, at this point in the race, you know how fast you were all night. All of a sudden, you don't have the track position you needed. And when he was within that second gap, you got to wonder, did he just overwork his stuff? I mean, I know Raymond had about a lap tire advantage, but still the 45 just could never get, he never even got past the 87 after the pit stops. And since then, he's just kind of started to slowly but surely fall back. And Josh Cully running a little bit of a lower line, getting some clean air on the nose. He's going to be looking for a pass here with 5 laps to go. Back up front, looking like there is no more lap traffic ahead. That 36 was getting a lap back. He's got fresher tires. He should be able to pull away. That's good news for Raymond Rittenauer II. He right now doesn't have to worry about looking out the rearview mirror or the, well, he obviously he's got to look out the windshield, but he doesn't have to look too far ahead because there's no lap traffic anytime soon. At this point, he is just trying to run around this track as fast as he can for the next 3 laps until we can get the white flag. And that white flag, he's going to take it as slow as he wants to. Enjoy it all, because he could be crowned the championship here tonight. Season 8 championship too, and I'll tell you what, for the Iron Thunder Racing League to be around 8 seasons, that is an impressive feat to do here. I do quite a few leagues, and I have certainly not heard of any that have been around 8 seasons, so great thing these guys have going. Great sponsorship opportunities, great drivers, and the racing tonight has been all you need to see to know why it has stuck around this long. 3 laps to go now for Raymond Rittenauer II. Looking to claim a championship. He is saying, guys, keep it together for 2 more laps. Storm Patterson doesn't look like he's got anything left in the tank. The nearest competition for your leader is almost 2.5 seconds back. These two are going to try to get into a little bit of a battle here. This would be for second place. Josh Cully diving to the inside here. Got to be careful. Maybe going to be a little contact here. The 33. Boy, that was a good-looking move. Now he does wiggle. Gets into the 45. Man, oh man, Raymond Rittenauer does not want to see this right now. 2 laps to go. Final chance for a caution. 52 sliding up the track. Looks like Brian Wertman's getting a little tight. Manning Gregory's going to take full advantage. Couple more into the wall further back. Keep an eye on these 2 through 3 and 4. This is probably your best shot at a caution, but Josh Cully, that little slip up when he was on the inside, I think that might have used his tires a little bit too much. Not sure if he's going to have a chance. Either way, we're going to give the white flag lap to the man who's looking to claim the Season 8 championship. One more time around for Raymond Rittenauer II. Can he do it? You know, I've seen this guy throughout money racing. He's always been fast. He's always been consistent. And he likes to bite guys where it hurts in the sense of he may not have been the fastest on track for a little while, but he got everybody in pit stops. And let me tell you something, this last run, he certainly was the fastest. Dominates after the green flag pit stop. Not only is he going to come home a winner at Kansas, but he secures the Season 8 championship for the VRX Premier Series. Congratulations to Raymond Rittenauer the second. Storm Patterson brings it home second. Josh Coley third. Eric fourth. And Matt Quick rounds out your top 5 here tonight. He is going to come and burn it down. Heck of a job tonight. Storm Patterson on the other side of this. Got to be thinking to himself, what if? What if he would have got a caution? What if? Could maybe execute a little bit better on pit road, but hey, he did a heck of a job tonight. Nothing to be ashamed of for that guy at all, and gives a little congratulatory bump to Raymond Rittenauer. Josh Coley's going to get up there and say, heck of a job, man, too. In fact, quite a few of these guys are. They know the 87 just secured himself the biggest prize of all season. Also wins $20. Hey, if you're going to win the championship, you might as well do it in impressive fashion and win the race as well. Gets into the grass here. Going to do a little slipping and sliding. And as we await the 87 to do a little burnout here, I don't believe that we're going to be able to get interviews from your top 3. Checking it out here. Yep, and it certainly doesn't look like we're going to be able to get any interviews from your top 3, unfortunately. And Matt Quick's going to do a little burnout there. Kind of congratulating your winner himself. These two are stopped just past the start-finish line. So while they do that, take a look at the finishing results here tonight. Not sure if the 87 is going to decide to do a burnout here or not. Go over to race results. Well, we see who got the job done tonight. It was the 87 of Raymond Rittenauer the second. Storm Patterson brings it home second. Josh Coley in third. Eric fourth. Matt Quick fifth. Brandon Pomala sixth. Dave Matson in seventh. Manning Gregory in eighth. Brian Wertman in ninth. Christopher Gale in 10th. Matthew in 11th. Treston Ott 12th. Kelvin Massar in 13th. Alex Little in 14th. Brandon in 15th. It's going to be George Balfons Jr. in 16th. Sawyer Ott 17th. Paul finishes 18th. Last 2 positions tonight go to Landon Polinsky in 19th and Dylan Hale rounding out your top 20. Well, it doesn't look like Raymond Rittenauer is going to burn it down, and it doesn't look like we are going to have any interviews from your top 3. I certainly hope everybody did enjoy tonight. One more congratulations to Raymond Rittenauer II. He is your Season 8 VRX Premier Series ITRL champion. He gets the win here tonight at Kansas. And until next time, we'll have a good one.